Initial thoughts, I just got the Markbass Little Marcus in, and I'm comparing it to the Little Mark III, the older version. This is 2019, this is 2015. Impressions. That's with my active on. So the Mark III is definitely shaking the house. It's very, very full. So you can already hear a sort of a more refined high end here. So definitely great for slap. So I'm going to turn the low a little bit up. Okay, it's getting a little muddy or something. Still very good though. All right, turn the mid up. Also, the Little Mark III is turned down in the master. The Little Marcus is turned up. So initial thoughts also, the Markbass Little Mark III is louder inherently. I know there's lots of different knobs, but it's louder inherently. Now I'm going to turn my active off, okay? Now that's actually really, really nice with my active off. There is also some extra hissing, especially when I turn down the old school, lots of hissing. Anyway, let's go back to the Little Mark III. So far as I've been playing it, the Little Mark III has a very full, an extremely full low end. All right, now I'm passive in my bass again. So passively and just in general, the Little Mark III hears a little bit more of my natural bass sound, especially on the high notes. So it's a little bit more natural high end, whereas the other one has a little bit more pristine high end. Now I'm going to switch my active on again. Anyways, it's let's see, I may have to turn it down, but it's a very full, very, very full low end. I'm turning my active bass up a little bit. It's a very, very, very full low end on the Little Mark III. On the Marcus, it's not as full. If you try and make it equally as full, it stays very clear. It's very pristine, but not as full. All right, active off. So it seems like if you just want very full low end, go with the Little Mark III. And if you try and make the Marcus fuller, just initially, it seems to get muddy or something. All right, active off. So the Little Marcus, I guess, as you would guess, is for slapping. That's active off. Millerizer. I'm going to turn the millerizer off. Let's just turn EQ off totally here, the special EQ. That's actually really good. You're still getting that treble, you know, accentuation because I've got the highs and the high mids up. Alright, I'm going to turn my active on. So the low's getting a little flubby. Alright, I'll turn the low down on my bass. Alright, active off. Alright, so let's do a little bit more gain on the Markbass. So it's actually really nice. Of course, the high end is very nice. Let's do the same little lick on the Little Mark III. I really am sticking with the idea that the Little Mark III is fuller. That is so incredibly full. If that is filling up the room, it's very nice. So you can hear my natural bass on there. It's not as pretty as a high. It's more natural, it's more gritty. But that is so full on the low end. Like, that is beautiful full. That's with my active off. So that is so beautiful and full. Let's take the V. Anyways, I think the components are bad, but you get the tone though. Very full, very natural. Alright, active off, active on. So it's really replicating the high of my bass. So that's really full and beautiful. That's really what I can say about it. That's Little Mark III full, very full. And of course I'm playing it through this avatar here, but oh my goodness, the fullness of the Little Mark III is outstanding. It's a little flubby, guys. It's just a little flubby, to be really honest. Ultra low was up. Now let's turn ultra low down and the low and mids up. Nope, that's not better. Ultra low up, ultra low up. Nope, mids down. It's really not as full as a Little Mark III. It's more of a round tone, I would say. If I could combine these two, get the fullness of a Little Mark III with the roundness and the very nice highs of the Little Markbass, that would be just about perfect, actually. Is the Little Markbass usable? Absolutely. Maybe in different cabinets would it be better? Yeah. Alright, I've got to turn this low frequency down. Alright, let's put my bass active. A little bit more bass from my bass. The low end is kind of flubby on it. I mean, that sounds beautiful. The high Sounds beautiful. Okay, let's do a little bit of millerizer. Add the millerizer. All right, active off. Add a little old school back. A little bit more low. Yeah. All right, add millerizer. Anyway, as a little flub, I was thinking. So that's my so far review. Little Mark III is louder and fuller. The Little Marcus is pristine. It is pristine. The Little Marcus has some hiss. That is so full, guys. That is so full. You cannot escape how beautiful that is. I don't know if you can hear it. Maybe you have headphones on. So yeah, I would love the beautiful highs, the really refined highs. I would love the refined highs of a Little Marcus with the fullness of this Little Mark III. That fills the whole room, guys. Oh, that was an active off. Active on. So I think you get the idea. Pristine, beautiful round highs, but this one has the lows all day long without sounding flubby. There's your extended review. There you go. I wish I could combine them. Which one would I choose? I'm playing with my 6-string B bass, Avatar 410.